Last round. Fight.
Hello and welcome to the Last Round Podcast. I'm your host Dan Saunders. Joining me as always, my co-host Anton Austin. We've got a very special guest today, world-renowned MMA fighter Brendan Loughnane. Thank you for coming on, mate.
Good to be here, thanks for having me. That's about time, isn't it?
I know, it is.
It's been a while.
You have to get older, man.
Exactly, I'm here now, let's do it.
I know. Yeah. So you've had like a lot of different stages in your career, and one of the ones I wanted to talk about was getting the call for the Ultimate Fighter and like how that come about and what the whole experience was like.
Yeah, so I went down for some trials in London, and I think they had about 2,000 or 2,500 applicants, something mad.
Yeah. And
they only invited about 400 down, and they invited me down. Went through the whole first stage. It was hitting pads. Yeah. Got past that bit. You know, they're all sat there, the UFC judges. Did that bit, got through that. Then the second stage was grappling. I had a tough kid that I grapple with, and they passed me through that. And I was down to like the last 50 or something. And then they said, you know, only 12 can get on. Right. So I was like, right, okay. So I did the interview, and then they said, right, I got down to the last 14 then. Only 12 was going to go to Australia. Another 2 was going to be reserves. So they said, we'll let you know in 3 weeks. Go home and train like you're on, obviously. Yeah. So I went home, trained my ass off. Phone call came on a Saturday morning, and it was, yeah, listen, you're the second reserve. A second reserve's never got on before, so just crack on with your fights in England. You know, it's not going to happen this year.
Yeah.
Dickhead here went to B4, partying, and then got a phone call about 2 weeks after that saying, listen, you need to fly out tomorrow. Someone's been injured in Australia. I know. I was like, not seen the gym, heavy as fuck. I was like, nah, what? So can I ring you back in a minute? I ran my coach. I was like, mate, you're not going to believe he's just rang me. He went, I bet it's the UFC, innit? I went, yeah. He went, what the fuck did I tell you? Stay in the gym. And then, flew out there, and then ended up fighting some kid called Patrick Idice, who was 9-0 at the time, and just battered him, really. Yeah. Just out cardioed him, battered him, and I couldn't believe it. Yeah. Because I thought, wow, I'm the one that's been, but really, it just shows it's all in your head, mate. Yeah, it really is. Definitely. It's all in your head. A fight's a fight.
What was the whole experience like? I've always wondered, like, with the Ultimate Fighter, you know, when you see, like, people fucking going head-to-head and scrapping and that, is it, like, kind of set up by the crew, or is it all, like, natural?
Nah, it's all natural.
Is it?
Yeah, you get put in the house, and listen, mate, 24 guys living in a house, you're going to get your own shit happening. Yeah, you don't need to start stirring stuff, do you? So you'd go in there, and then you'd have, like, 12 on 12 as well. So, like, you'd have the English 12 and the Australian 12. So, like, you're not always going to get on with everyone. Even people on my team I didn't get on with, do you know what I mean? So, like, although you're on the same team, you're like, oh, mate, I can't be a knob him and all that. You know what I mean? So it caused its own controversies along the way, but there's just cameras everywhere. You wake up for a piss, mate, and a guy's just following you around with a camera. Like, it's just in your face 24/7. And then there's no phones, there's no TVs, there's no newspapers, no magazines, books, nothing.
So how was you like there for that again? Like we spoke before, briefly, me and you, about homesickness and stuff like that. And still young, how old was you then about?
Nah, I didn't care back then. I was 20 years old, bro. No. So like, I'd got out there, and I was living at my mum's and just then they got to go in this, forget it was about a $10 million house, mate. Like tennis courts, pool tables, next door to Nicole Kidman. Yeah, mate, sweet. So we was just in this massive gap in the middle of Oz playing tennis every day. I'm fighting. Like, so I thought, fucking hell, it's a dream come true.
Yeah.
What was working with Ross Pearson like?
I mean, still close to Ross to this day. Just FaceTiming after my last fight. It's a top guy, mate. I've got pure love for Ross. Always will do.
He's in Australia now, isn't he?
Yeah, he lives there now. He's full-blown Aussie.
Was you expecting a contract at the end of TUF, or?
So, yeah, I fought in the finale, didn't I? I fought against Mike Wilkinson. And the fight didn't go my way that night, but it was a close fight. And it was a good fight. You know what I mean? We thought we were going to get the 50 quid bonus because it was that good, but then Robert Whittaker went and stole it, so I'll give it him.
No way was he in the same?
He was in the same house,
No way, that's mental.
I know, good kid as well. Really good kid. I like Robert.
Good fighter as well, isn't he?
Great fighter.
Has he excelled a lot since then?
It's only me and him that are still fighting like, the whole season. You believe that?
Yeah, because he had Norman.
Norman there, he's turned it in now. Colin Fletcher turned it in. Like Mike Wilkinson's turned it in. Like everyone's just called it a day apart from me and Robert Whittaker, mate. It's mad because we were the two youngest, so on there. He's still not even 30, I don't think.
Really?
Like, still young, mate. It's mad.
Yeah, flipping neck.
The next stage of your career I wanted to touch on, like, I was just curious if you held any kind of ill malice towards it still, or like a bit of kind of, can't think what that word is, but like your Bama fight against fucking
Tom
French
Duquesnoy.
kid. Yeah, Duquesnoy. I can never pronounce his name. Like, do you still what do you think of that looking back now? Do you just kind of think it is what it is, or are you still like a little bit pissed off about how it went down and stuff?
Listen, I got robbed, mate. I got like I've had decisions like the last one. I lost the fight.
Yeah,
I'm okay with losing fights. Like you're the better man. You're the better man, and that's it. I've trained, you've trained, you beat me, sweet. But I did not lose that fight. So, and at the stage, I put everything into it. I went to America for 6 months. The first time I left home. Yeah. Trained my ass off, and featherweight was really hard for me. I didn't really know what I was doing, so I was just not eating for days and all that, doing stupid shit what I shouldn't have been doing. I'm really training, and then I was living at Dominic Cruz at the time, and he said, "Look, mate, I've got a UFC contract waiting for you after this fight. Beat this kid, mate, and you're in." And then went there, and then all that happened, and then that's why I still respect even David A, mate, to this day. David A was the commentator on the fight, and he just stood up for it and went, "Nah, this is wrong, this." And I was like, you know what? He didn't need to, because he was getting paid by them.
We were talking about that.
Yeah, I thought I seen him ringside in it on the video when I was watching it back the other day.
He did. He was the commentator, and he was like, "Nah, what's just happened's wrong here." And and like it was wrong, and it never left me, mate. It always made me mad, and I always like, even to this day, I've got my own suspicions about what went on that night. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that we don't know about. He was the fucking promotional golden boy. He was never supposed to lose. Even like, I'll give you an example. Like I turned up there like a few days before the fight. I was in the lift. And like people was just like, "Oh, how come you've took this fight, mate? You can't beat this kid." Like just real mad. I was a massive underdog, and I was just like, "Wow, these are people seeing something I'm not." You know what I mean? Like he's beatable. He's, you know what I mean? He's human.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, that was all stacked against me in that one. But yeah, what can you do?
Yeah. Your fight after that was in Manchester on Tanko against that Eden.
Was that the fight after?
I think so, yeah.
Nah, that's years later.
Oh, was it?
That's like 3 or 4 years.
Because I watched an interview from like after the weigh-ins, after you had like a back and forth, pushing each other, and then the guy was saying, "Oh yeah, your last fight against Duquesnoy," so I just presume.
Oh, okay. No, I think it was a while after that.
Oh, right. But yeah, that fight anyway. Like in that interview after, when you were talking about, "Oh yeah, this guy's fucking doing steroids and all that."
They're all full of steroids, mate.
Do you not get like at that level? Like it's kind of like Cage Warriors Tanko level. Do you not get tested or anything? No.
Didn't get tested at PFL, mate.
Really?
People aren't getting tested in MMA like you think, mate. No, I did. I'm not gonna lie. I did get tested, but it's not good enough. Piss test. What a piss test a day. Like people know how to cycle on enough things and all that, mate. Like people like it's a massive thing in Thai, in wrestling, in combat sports. It's fucking dangerous, bro.
Yeah.
Like 100%. People are taking all this stuff, and you're going in against another man that's not taking it, and like. Some of the fights I've had, I've dropped a guy 7 times and he's got up and walked towards me like it's not happened. Yeah. And I'm like, that ain't human.
No, not at all.
So
the PFL
another example I'll give you. Remember when I fought Pat Healy, This is a true story. No one even knows this.
Tough fight.
Straight after the fight, we've been tucked in the back, sat down in the medical room, me and my coach, Pat's in there with his coach. The guys have come in and gone, "Oh yeah, guys, it's time for the drug test." Got the pots out, so I went, "Bro, the guy got off out of the room and walked off." I said, "Where's he going? Are you not going to stop him?" And they were like, and all that. My coach started going mad, me. "Fucking get back here, you cheating," and all that. And he was like, what do you mean? Like, bro, that's like this is what's going on out there. And for someone like me, I've never touched nothing, and I'm just on hard work and dedication. Yeah. So when I see that, it's just cheating, and it annoys the life out of me. But it's part of the sport, mate. And what you're gonna do. And what I said about Eden was, I know for a fact he was, because I know people that was in the camp, and also. We did a face-to-face a month before. "Oh, you're telling me in this month you put on 10 kilo muscle, mate?" I'm like at the next, and I was like, another one. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just...
Suppose it's all a compliment to you, though, isn't it?
I mean, it isn't. It ain't because it's dangerous, bro. Like, I've had serious injuries. I've broke my arm on a steroid. I've broke my hand on it. Like, they're just not human, what they're going in with. So, it's just something that you're not going to take out of the sport, though. It's just, unless you get... USADA testing. That's why the UFC is a level playing field.
Yeah. Because it's all year round. Just
what about IV?
IV, I'm down for IVs. You've weighed in. You've got to get an IV and get your vitamins
back. PFL ban them or anything, or is that okay?
Bro,
no. Yeah, I'll take that.
I weighed in and didn't see anyone until I thought, like, you could be doing anything, bro. You could be doing anything at all. There's no, Yokao, you weigh in. Yeah. You don't see that person till fight night. Who's to say what? Is someone following them around, checking their ass, seeing that they're putting needles in or anything?
Well, Muay Thai is a different ball game, and you just do anything you fucking want in Muay Thai.
That's what I mean. But I'm not down with it. I don't like cheaters. I know people that have cheated, and they're disgusting, mate. And
I respect you for not even exposed, especially when with the Pat Healy there. Even just social media.
At the time, you could have
I've
been
not
like, this
seen
guy's
that.
not fucking
Yeah.
What's
walked
the
off on it.
point?
Yeah.
I lost the fight and then started telling everyone the guy's on steroids. Like,
Yeah.
just look like a sore loser.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And like me and Anton were talking about on the way, the fight game's fake, mate. The load of it's fake. Instagram fighters fighting cans, steroid, like there's loads of shit on the undercurrent. And I think that's why I get the respect that I do, because
Padded
I fight
records,
real fights and I don't take steroids and I fight my ass off.
Yeah.
And like that's I think that's a dying breed now in the
100%
sport. It really is.
The thing is, though, there is even guys in UFC, like, not to keep going on about steroids, but like where like everyone knows they're taking steroids, but they still keep getting fights and that. It's just like, what the fuck's going on here? Like certain Brazilians, not to name any names, but certain Brazilians, like it's well known that they fucking
TJ Dillashaw, red-handed, mate.
Yeah,
red-handed.
And he's back
and
fighting
now he's back
again.
in a title contention.
You
Then
know-
you've got fucking, mate, everyone's took it at some point, and like that just makes you think, if these guys are getting caught by USADA, what are guys doing in other organizations where there's no testing?
Yeah.
They're just doing whatever they want.
I seen a photo of TJ of like a desk of all these pills and all these organic supplements he was having and that, and then it come out like months later he got caught, and I was
Do you know
thinking,
what I mean? And he was on EPO, bro. He was on what Lance
that what-
Armstrong was winning
Yeah.
Tour de France.
Yeah.
On. Come on, mate.
Yeah.
And you're putting him in the cage with his skill level that he has,
yeah,
and then you're giving him a never-ending gas tank.
Could kill someone, innit? Yeah.
Like he fought Dominic Cruz, who I was training with Dom for that fight, and Dom still went to beat him. So imagine how he felt.
yeah.
You've just took all this EPO and done all this. How weak-minded are you, bro? You still went in there and got beat, and your ass handed to you. So it's like, imagine how that feels.
know.
It's bad.
What was it? What's he like training with Dominic Cruz? Like he's got such like an unorthodox style and stuff. Like, did you learn a lot working with him and that?
Yeah, loads, mate. Like he has got an unorthodox style, and the way he breaks it down best is like when he first started in MMA, there was no weight classes, so he's a small guy.
Yeah.
So everyone was bigger than him. So he said, "Fucking hell, I'm gonna start moving my head." So he made this mad style.
Yeah,
so he
yeah.
didn't get it because he thought, I'm
Right.
fighting guys that are 10 kg heavier than me here. So he had this mad thing about getting out of the way, and then just kind of once he introduced weight classes and all that, and then just kind of kept it going. And that's
Yeah,
how
his
he ended up with that
footwork's
style. It was
got
smart.
mad footwork, hasn't he?
Yes.
Mad footwork.
He's all over the place.
So just to go back to the Tanko days, one thing that I wanted to ask you about, like, obviously at the time, you and Paddy Pimlett were like the two biggest names in the UK.
Yeah.
He was signed to Cage Warriors, and you were like with Tanko. Is that the reason why the fight never happened? Because it was like over two different organisations?
Loads of people always will say, what's going on with you and Paddy? He likes to say I didn't sign a contract. Mate, come on. Look at the people I've been fighting. Why would I not fight Paddy Pimlett, mate? Let's be
He's
real
chinny,
about
innit?
it. Come on, mate. It's just like, even for the event alone, Manchester, Liverpool, the Manx and the
massive,
Scousers.
yeah.
And it's still big now. because,
MEN, that.
Like, this is a
No,
major
that's that-
fight.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact Paddy wanted to fight me, and he knows deep down that I wanted to fight him.
Yeah.
And the fact is, what happened was Graham, his manager, the guy who owns Cage Warriors, came with a contract, and I had to do 3 fights. I couldn't just fight Paddy.
I thought it was that.
But
Yeah,
the
you
money
didn't
was
want to sign to them.
less than a quarter of what I was getting paid. Less than a quarter.
Right.
I'm talking like really bad. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not signing this. I'll fight Paddy, but that's it. And I said, okay, I'll give you, if I beat Paddy and get the belt, I'll defend it once and then I'll leave. They wouldn't even have that. They wanted me tied by it. So then I'm going, I'm not signing that. So then it was, you're not signing the fight.
Yeah.
But it was all like, bro,
all
this
a big-
I'm like, wait, are you
They
joking?
knew
me?
fully farewell that you won. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was like this, do you want to sign this, yeah? But it's all on your side and I don't do it. Even if I win,
yeah.
I'm still stuck with you now for
He's
the
still
next...
with him, isn't he? Still his manager, isn't he?
Yeah.
Graham,
He's done
yeah.
great with him.
Yeah.
Built him up mint,
Yeah.
bro. Graham's done a great job with Paddy. And Paddy, I'm happy for Paddy. I actually am. He's flying now. And you know what? He's not had easy fights either. He has had some hard fights in Cage Warriors. He's won some, he's lost some. He's pulled himself back to where he is. And I'm happy for him, mate. And I hope he smashes it.
Do you think that window's kind of passed now where obviously he's in the UFC, you're in PFL? Do you think the window's passed where that fight could ever happen now?
I know for a fact, before me and Paddy Pimlett retire, we will fight
Do you think, yeah?
in whatever organisation it is. Do you know what? It's mad because about 4 years ago, we called it. We were DMing each other and he was like, listen, mate, we'll just do it in the UFC one day. And I was
Yeah.
like, sweet. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to sit here and try and dip ride Paddy now because he's getting a bit hype. Like, I
Yeah.
want Paddy and that. I'm happy for Paddy, but I know one day that we and him will fight. So it's been on the cards for, it's been the biggest built up fight in UK MMA history on it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it has, yeah.
I think that's a shame. Like, just, we see a lot of fights now happening too late on in the career.
Yeah.
Like right now, I've seen you from the start to now, like the striking, the rest, and everything. You can see how much you've excelled. Obviously, I don't know as much about Paddy, but I know I'd put money on you now. I was even going to put, in the past and whatnot, but I know if it happened now, I know
Listen, there's a massive gap in striking.
Yeah.
He'll probably admit that to you.
Massive gap.
There is.
I know. I heard him talk. Oh, fair play to Paddy. I heard him talking about his stand-up and you can't bang and whatnot. But when he got clipped in the first round in that fight,
the guy he fought was 1-4 in the UFC. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
There's levels out here, bro. And he's great on the ground. He's a good grappler. He's a good submission guy. But I always say, how's he going to get me there?
Yeah.
You know, his wrestling's not that good. It's really not. So you've got to take someone down, then you've got to control him, then you've got to submit him. Where me, I've got to land one shot in 15 or 25 minutes because his chin's there for it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And he's going to be the first to admit that.
Yeah.
He leaves it up there and starts banging. And
He is confident, isn't he? You know,
he is confident. I like him. That's what I'm saying. It would be an event.
He's a proper gobshite, isn't he?
Yeah, he's great, mate. He'd sell the fight anyway, put it that way. He's sick at that.
He made me laugh how he recent quote about Dana and the new cash cow and all this. And
mate, he's everywhere.
Yeah.
The guy is everywhere. I can't turn on my phone now without seeing Paddy Pimlett's head, mate. It's mad. Fair play to him.
So talking about UFC, you had another opportunity in the Contender Series.
Yep.
That was like a one-fight thing. You obviously won it. And he was just like kind of giving out contracts on the day. Like, was you pissed off after that? Like Dana was saying, he went for a takedown at the end, and that's why we didn't give him a contract. Do you think that's bollocks?
Yeah, there's loads more to that story. Absolutely loads more. But what he did do that night, it was kind of a thingy from the start. Like, I should have just been going straight into the UFC. I shouldn't have been on the Contender Series because
you'd already had the profile.
The guys on there were 2-0, 3-0. Like,
right,
at the time, I was like 18-3. I was like, what the fuck am I doing on here? But anyway, I took what opportunity came. And then they give me a guy who was on like a 7-fight win streak. He was like 2-weight champion in New Jersey and like was a really good fighter, Bill. So I thought, right, well, no one else is getting these hard fights on the Contender. So I kind of see what's going on here. Then I went in and flushed him out, beat him every round. And then after it, they were like, it's like it was all set up for him sort of thing. And then they signed him a month later.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where is he now?
He's in the UFC.
Is he?
Yeah. No, I think he's 1-2, lost 1. Like, you know what I mean? Like coming against Ricardo Lamas.
Right.
He went and fought him and went to a split decision. It was a great fight. Got 50 grand on top of his bonus and all that. So yeah, he's in there doing well now. So anyone who thinks that I'm not at UFC level from that, that just shows.
Everyone knows that you are, though. That's the thing. That's why people start questioning, does Dana just not like you or something? Do you know what I mean?
There's loads more to it. There's loads more to that story, but which I won't go into all here.
Right. So how was that experience again, like being on the Contender Series? Obviously, it's associated to a massive organisation like UFC. Do you think you thrive in those kind of opportunities?
Yeah. I mean, like I say, it kind of stacked up against me again. I shouldn't have been on there for 1. For 2, they give me the hardest fight they could find. And then for 3, I went and won and I still didn't get it. So it was like, what was I supposed to do?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, Puna, who was on the show with me, he took the guy down and lay on him for 3 rounds. And then said to me, I went for a takedown, but I banged it out for 40 minutes. It's like, none of it made sense, did it? Like, nothing. That's why I become so popular off it. Because even like, Ariel, Luke Thomas, all these people just was like, wait, this ain't right. And even when I did Ariel's show the other day, just before my last fight, he was like, come on, are you finally going to tell us what it is then? And all that. And I was like, nah, mate, I don't really know what it is, sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, you know what did happen that night was like everyone got to see how skillful I actually am. And it brought a lot more eyes to me and got me fucking paid, mate, at PFL. It did. Because I had a contract waiting before that for PFL, which I turned down. So I could go to the UFC.
Right.
And then that doubled. You know what I mean? By the time after that fight. So good at it. Put my name out there.
I think it's nice to see when you're getting mentioned and you're getting love and Ariel and the rest of them and shouting you out, because it's more common that they'll hit up the UFC guys and give a bit more attention to them, but yourself, it's like you're not going unnoticed. You're getting a lot of promotion off them, so it's good to see.
True. Ariel, he's been on my side from. I was on his show just before the Contender Series, just because Rashford and Lingard and fucking Fury and everyone was getting on side. He's thinking, wow, who's this? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And then he messaged me like, how the fuck are all these people like on you? And I said, oh, we're from Manchester. This is what we do. We look after each other, sort of thing. Yeah. And he was like, got on me from then. Then he interviewed me after that fight, and then ever since then I've been on it like 3 or 4 times. And he had me on just before that last one. It was big because he just got the MMA hour back, and I was his first guest back on the MMA hour. So that got pure eyes, and He does, mate. He said, listen, mate, fucking hell, we're all on your side here. Don't worry, mate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We seen what happened that night. It's a load of bollocks. So for him, someone in the industry with a big name like him to get behind you, it's massive, mate.
Yeah.
You need that.
Yeah.
If I just like was screaming from the rooftops on my own, no one would be listening. But the fact that him and Luke Thomas and that got on side, it really helped me.
And he's not scared, is he, to voice his opinion and even go against Dana and question these decisions. So, it's good.
Everyone else is.
Yeah.
Everyone else is, but he's his own thing. Ariel's his own thing, and he always has been. He don't give a fuck, mate. He just tells it how it is, and that's why everyone likes Ariel.
Yeah. So obviously you just talked about PFL there. So how the hell did that $1 million tournament come about?
So I got offered the first ever season, but it sounded too good to be true, mate. They were like, yeah, we're going to give this $1 million away, this and that. And then told me the guys that were in it, they weren't that good. And I was like, just sounds too good to be true. So I just didn't go with it, just for that reason, like a dick. And then watched it. And I was like, wow, this is the real deal. Like, I was in America at the time. People was like turning the telly on to watch it on a Thursday. And I thought, wow, this is actually catching on. Second season, they offered me again, but it was either that or go to the Contender. And I was thinking, wow, what do I do here? And I chose the Contender, the UFC, because I've been working for that. That's what I wanted. Didn't go my way, but then obviously it worked in my favour that it built my profile up enough for the next season. Yeah. And I was ready for a good payday and to get in there, so that's what happened.
And obviously when you did go into PFL, you had 4 wins in a row. You were in great form going into your last fight. And I believe you had a hand injury before your last fight. What had happened there?
Yeah, so...
That was mad, that.
I broke my hand against Tyler Diamond in the first round. I felt it go, and I was like, oh, fuck, you know what I mean? But I just kept using it, and it made it worse. And then by the end of the fight, it was about that. It was just a massive balloon, mate. And I was like, right. So they took me to the hospital. I had 12 stitches in my shin from the kicks, a couple of lacerations on the face, whatever. But I didn't tell them about my hand because I thought if I tell them, they're going to kick me out of the tournament. Yeah. Which they would have. They would say, well, you're out. Yeah. So I didn't tell anyone.
Right.
And I couldn't even take my glove. I had to cut my glove down the middle because it was that big.
I have to put the photo. I remember seeing the photo.
Yeah. So I flew to Vegas after the fight, and I know the lady at the UFC PI, the head physio. She's sound as fuck, Heather. She's always been had my back. So I said, Heather, what do you think of this? And she just went, your hand's broke, mate. And I was like, do you reckon? And she's like, Brendan, your hand's broke. So I got it scanned. It was broke. It was on the end there. Fractured it down the middle. Clean break. So I had 2 options, and it was like the fight was 6 weeks away. So it was either pull out the fight or fight with one hand sort of thing. And it needed surgery. It was never going to heal on its own because the bone started going like this. So I flew to LA, had surgery.
Who pays for all that?
PFL paid for that. I had to tell them then.
Right, okay.
I said, here's my situation. This is what's going on. And they were like, well, we're going to have to pull you out of the fight. So I said, I think I can still do the fight. And they were like, well, it's not enough time, really. So I flew to LA, had the surgery. Couldn't do anything in the camp, really. Fucking hell, what can you do? I couldn't wrestle, couldn't grapple, jabbing, kicking, running, just stuff that I could do around it. And then even now, mate, it's not right. Like, look at the size of it. It's like, it's a big scar down here, and it's just not right. I can't make a fist. But I thought to myself, well, this opportunity might never come around again. You're one fight away from a world title and $1 million. Like, try and find a way. But it was silly, really, because my only, I didn't really think about, I'm not a submission guy. I'm not a wrestling guy. The only way I can win is to box you up. So, and if I can't do that, how the fuck am I going to win? How I managed to get a split decision out of that fight, I don't know. But, like, it was one of them, mate. It was my heart over my head, that one, really. Yeah. I don't regret it, though. I went in there, did what I could, and I had my own reasons for not winning. But he was the better guy on the night. Is he the better fighter? Probably not. I think I can beat him. Yeah. But on the night he was, and he's in the final now.
Obviously, you said about your striking there, like, you've got like superior striking to most people in MMA. Like in MMA standards, it's like top level. Do you know what I mean? So is it frustrating when you fight like wrestlers who just want to lie on you and that for 3 rounds?
Well, what's mad is, mate, I've fought a lot of wrestlers in the past, but no one on his level. Yeah. And even throughout that camp, I had some good wrestlers, and they couldn't really take me down, mate. My wrestling was on point. But I think that the fact that I didn't have my coach there because he was back home. It was coming up to a year away from my family and friends. So that was starting to kick in. Then I had the hand. Then I was getting homesick. Yeah. And then I thought to myself, fucking hell, if I beat this guy, I've got another 2 months out here on my own again. I didn't know if I had it in me to do another camp back to back. So I was just like, I got a staph infection as well, real bad, man. I got a picture of it. It's fucking hell, mate. because on antibiotics and everything. Like, it just couldn't have been a worse camp.
Yeah, not good then.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And then by the
Yeah,
time I
yeah,
got to
yeah.
it, that just sounds like I'm making excuses,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
yeah.
actually what happened. And then by the time I got to the fight, mate, it's the only time I've ever got to a fight and just thought, just get me home, mate. I couldn't wait for my flight home. Like, even in the changing rooms, warming up, deflated, just like, didn't want to be there, really. You know what I mean? And which is mad, because like,
It is
that's
mad, yeah.
everything I've ever worked for
Yeah.
was right in front of me. But because of all the fights I'd just had, and they were so close together, and the shit that was built up into it, and again, no one giving me a chance, massive underdog, and I was just like, then you had fucking Khabib, and he's like, everything was just, people was just like, you got no chance, Brendan. I started to believe him.
Yeah.
I started to believe
Yeah.
what people were saying, which started going on social media and seeing all this, he's got no chance and all that.
Yeah.
Started to play into my own head, and I will never do that again.
Yeah.
But that's just being honest. That's how I felt. I went out there and I thought, wow, you're nowhere near what I thought. You're just flying the bomber.
That's
He's
what we were
banging
saying.
everyone
I was
out, and you're on the
expecting
back foot now,
yeah,
like running
yeah,
away.
Yeah.
And I just thought, but I just couldn't stop his wrestling. His wrestling was just too superior for mine at the time.
Yeah, I think that will come as a big shock as well to a lot of people, especially on your Instagram, when we're seeing you running in the morning, training with these top athletes, knowing that Brendan's looking in top shape. Oh, we can't wait to see him fight. We're gonna get it online. But like you just said, then deep down inside, you're feeling a bit drained. You've been out a long time in America, and you're just human.
You know what it was, bro? Like, my coach told me to pull out. My manager, PFL, everyone wanted me to pull out the fight, bro. My mum, my family, like, nah, you ain't right for it.
Yeah.
But I've just not got it in me to agree to a fight and not go to it.
Yeah.
I've never done it before.
Yeah.
And once I said yes, I'm going to it, and like, it was a stupid decision, but I don't regret it one bit. And when I lost, I didn't. I said to myself, no matter what happens, you decided to take this, and I've lived with regrets before.
Yeah.
Like with Duke and Wild, there was times where I thought I could have put the pressure on more and all that. With this, there was loads of regrets. There's loads, but like, I don't live with him anymore. I let him go that night.
Yeah,
the
good.
cage door shut.
Yeah.
He got the win. And I went and had a few drinks with my mates and come home, and I don't beat myself up. I used to stay in my house for weeks, bro, after losses.
We were talking about me having to pull out of my recent fight.
Like you said it,
my
and I
head was
relate
burnt
to it.
out, and it was tough for me, man. It was a tough experience.
And I know for you, like, people, like, you know what I mean, because you didn't really put out what was up with you. Like, people talking that piss you off, innit? Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, especially in the Thai game I'm in, we don't get paid not a fraction compared to what you're
exactly.
getting paid. So it's like, to put so much time and effort in, and then to get just a illness what come about, it's difficult. But I think a lot of people, again, watching this, hearing your words now, you're gonna inspire them a lot, and just the honesty, man. You know what I mean?
Don't
Appreciate your
believe
honesty,
what you
man.
see on Instagram, mate.
Yeah.
I'm posting every day that I'm feeling great, but I don't, mate. Like, there's days I get up 9 times out of 10 nowadays, mate. When you get past 30, mate, and you're getting up in the morning, you don't want to train, but there's just that voice that's still there.
Exactly, yeah.
Fucking keep going, mate. Like, this is what you're in it for, and like, until that voice goes away, I'm in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And right now, that voice is still loud, and I feel like I needed that time off. I feel like I needed to come. Imagine not seeing, bro. I felt like I come home and mum and dad had aged 10 years in a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I thought, wow, how much have I missed? Manchester, new buildings everywhere.
Yeah,
like,
we said that, didn't
and this
we?
whole time I've been in this focused on this journey that I let everything else pass me by.
I know you do stuff like hot yoga, don't you, and stuff. And how does that help? Does that help you a lot? Do you meditate or do anything like that, or any?
Yeah, Bikram. For that last camp, I did it Bikram twice a week for about. I'd say about that whole that whole tournament. I reckon over that 6 months, 8 months, I didn't go 1 week without doing at least 2 yoga sessions, 90 minutes as well.
Just started it. Hard. Yeah, I've just started 2 weeks, and tell you what, it's hard.
It's the best thing I ever did for my career, yoga. I swear to God, like it's longevity. Like, when I stretch now, I can feel parts, whereas if I didn't go to this yoga, my body would have seized up by now. My career would be over now, bro. It really would. I genuinely believe that, the arthritis, and even for my mind, I'm a switcher. Like, I'm always active on things, and I feel like for that 90 minutes, I'm on this mat, and I'm focusing on myself and these movements, and that's what I like about it. That's what I like about the yoga.
It's good stuff.
Do you know, you were saying before about being homesick before your last fight? I was curious, like, because I made that video for you, innit, of like the compilation of all your friends and family.
You did it?
Yeah.
Yes, lad.
And
Bells.
nah, but I was just curious, like.
Yes, lad. Bro, that.
No, but did that make you more homesick though? Obviously, it's good to feel like you got that support, but did it make you just want to get home more?
I'll tell you how I seen that video. So I had pure messages. It was a weigh-in. I just weighed in. And then I just weighed in and I got back to my room. And Reese had sent it me the day before and I just ignored it because I just thought it was one of them daft videos that people forward to.
Yeah.
And then I was just flicking through my room. No one was in my room either. The coach had just left. And I seen it. I said, what's this? Started watching it. It was about 6 minutes long. I swear, but I burst into tears, bro. Out of nowhere, just was like, these are people I've not seen. And all the love and support from back home, I needed it at that moment. Like me, it's like I found that video at the right moment. Because I was like I say, that whole fight, I didn't want to be at that fight. And then for the fact that I seen like everyone there, I thought, yeah, man, I needed that at that point. And it was good timing on that. It really was.
I was just curious because, like, obviously you were saying you're homesick. I thought, will that make him feel more homesick? Do you know what I mean? Like,
nah, I loved it, bro. That was like, I was so happy that got done and organised because even like some of the people on it I've not seen even more well before I even left for America.
Probably like had kids that you didn't even know, like, you know what I mean? You're not seeing the kids or anything yet and stuff like that.
Bro, like, got kids that I've not even met and all that. Like, got kids that I've not met. I got like, oh yeah. Listen, mate, it was a mad journey. And you know what? I learned so much about myself and I could do anything now. Yeah. If I can sit in my own with discipline, like major discipline, no, like even after fights, you think about this, yeah? You have a fight. My whole routine, my whole career in life has been have a fight, party for a week or two with my friends, enjoy food. There's none of that. I was fighting Saturday night, Monday morning, I'm back doing sprints. Right. Like, there was no time off. Yeah. And like, them fights and then the high level opponents that I was having back to back takes it out of you mentally and physically. And I was mentally drained more than physically. I was just like, I'm done with this, bro. Like, get me home. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, if I would have won, I wanted to win and I tried to win. But if I would have won, I'd have been like, fucking hell. My coach would have flew home and I'd have been back in the gym, mate. And I don't know how I would have felt, bro. It would have been a terrible camp. I'd still be in camp now, do you know what I mean? Yeah. In America, still in that back bedroom just on my own thinking.
Easy to say, but it could have been a blessing in disguise. You don't know. You could have went into the final, drained, really down.
Who knows?
Who knows?
But who knows what would have happened? But these is me being brutally honest about how I felt. Loads of people will tell you they felt great.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm sitting there, I'm surprised because I see you again on social media, and I'm thinking, oh, he's living the life. Look at him, man. He's enjoying this. He's ready. He looks happy, and like you said, deep down, you just camp to camp to camp. You know, you don't really call it camp because you're just in it. It's just life, isn't it?
It just shows you that Instagram's a load of bullshit as well. But listen, don't get me wrong. I wake up every day and I do what I love. I'm in the 1% of a 1%. I do love it.
Definitely.
But when you're doing it to the level that I am and the fucking pressure that was on me, like, you're talking about changing your whole family's life forever with a fight, bro. And that's the pressure I was under. Like, alone as well. Not even like, I used to like go to my coach's house and I'd go in, we'd have a brew and we'd talk about the fight and I'd be sweet then. But I didn't have none of that. Didn't have a bird, didn't have my mum, didn't have anyone I could chat to about the fight or how I was feeling. Yeah. So I was just like, fucking, it was a mad experience, mate. And I would never do it like that again. And it was only because of coronavirus. And once I landed in America, they said, you can't leave now till the tournament's over. In case you shut the borders. Right. And usually I'd just come home, train for the next one, and fly out with my coach, come home, train, fly out. But that was all taken away. So I had to do it that way, which I would never do again, obviously. Do you know what I mean?
I was wondering, because like, when you've been used to fight over here, you know, you could sell out arena just off of your name alone. Do you know what I mean? You've got like a massive fan base. Is it hard as well fighting in America and stuff when you've literally got no one there? It's like none of your mates there. Did you?
I preferred fighting behind closed doors. My first 2 fights for PFL this season were no fans at all. I love it, bro. You walk in, there's no entrance music. There's no nothing. You walk in. Yeah, I like it. Music, nothing, just walk in the cage and fight. And the reason I like that is because I can focus on the guy and I don't get... the crowd sometimes can alter your
play to the crowd a bit.
And you're like, wow, and you'll go for stuff that you wouldn't go for. Yeah. Whereas when no one's there, you're just calm and you just there's like you land a shot and you're like, yeah, sweet, and then you don't get affected by noise.
I was thinking about the FCC. You've seen you end a good few people there.
Yeah, do you know what? It can work for you. A lot of fighters like Diaz and all them, they need crowds. Yeah. Because they're just like going off the crowd. Yeah. Whereas me, I don't. I feel like a technician a bit. Yeah. So I like to pick my shots and think about what I'm doing, where some fighters are just nutters, mate. Yeah. And they just want they just want crowd noise to get them through it.
Yeah. So what's next now? Is there going to be another PFL tournament, or are you just taking it easy for the time being and worry about that later down the line?
Mate, to be honest, since I've landed, I've stayed on it, mate. Like I've been in the gym, staying ready because I'm the reserve for the final. Something happens to one of the finalists.
Right.
I'm actually going out there to make weight as well in case something happens, which is not unusual because, you know, Movlead pulled out of the fight before me on the day of the fight. He got staph infection and pulled out on the day. So he has pulled out of fights before. COVID is around. Yeah. So who's to say that something happened? And for me now, I learned a big lesson from that Ultimate Fighter days where they said you're definitely not in, and I took that as gospel,
right?
And I did get in. So now I will never make them mistakes again. I'll just stay ready, stay training, and hopefully the phone rings. But aside from that, it's rang on 3 different occasions about other stuff as well, other fights.
I know.
Boxing matches.
I know.
Fucking.
Mate, all I'll say is,
crazy
the offer you had for a main event, if that would have happened, that would have been like the maddest fucking fight of all time.
And you know what? I would have loved it for my legacy, mate. I really would have. The fight that we're talking about, there's another one that I've been offered, mate. I can't even say it.
Don't say nothing.
I'm just like, wow, no way is that name even being put with mine, sort of thing. It's even bigger than that one that you're talking about, well bigger. So I'm like, fucking hell. So yeah, like Maurice Cole told me about 5 years ago, he said, you know what, Bren? You've got to stay in the gym and be around because the phone will ring. It will ring.
Yeah. For you, it's 100% going to ring.
Do you know what I mean? So stay ready all year round. And although I'm not training to the intensity I was in America, which feels good because I don't have to do all that daft madness, it just feels good to be able to tick over and hope for a, you know, I don't hope for a demise, but I do at the same time. I hope something happens to Wade or Movlead because I've done the first fight out there, mate, and I feel refreshed and revigorated.
I saw you the other day. I was going to the gym in the morning and I couldn't see on my Instagram. You was out. I don't know if you was on Huff End or one of the local. Where was you? Was you out?
Oh,
I was out in the morning.
I was jet lagged to death. I was up at mad hours, mate. I was like,
I thought, look, he's out already. He's not even been home long. And I seen he might have some injuries. He was asking, are you training? I said, I don't know. You know, he may have some injuries, but he's seen you back at it. And what also I like as well is like, you've been away to America, you fought on all these big organisations, but even Champs Camp, Mossad, you still go back in there. Like, you know,
you say that though, but where am I gonna go? You know what I mean?
I know, but a lot of people, you know, can go on the big stage and almost change. You still see the same guy, still down to earth, humble, you know. Like you said, Instagram, man, has such a big impact on people, doesn't it? Blue ticks, followers, a lot. You can almost get lost in it sometimes. But I think you, man, you come back, you're still running down the same. You could drive down the road and see you running, and to you, it's probably like, who am I? But you know, you are a big inspiration to the kids and a lot of fighters out there. So it's nice to see.
I think the other thing
out there.
I think the other thing as well is like, you know, over the course of your career, you've had like some lows, like the Duke and Wild loss, stuff like that, and like tough, like not getting in UFC, but you've always bounced back and come back stronger as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't really, you know, like I say, this loss doesn't feel like the other losses. For some reason, I can't put my finger on it. It just doesn't. I just don't. I'm not getting upset about it one bit because I know what I went through to even get in that cage, whereas other people don't. From when the organisation are even telling you to pull out, mate, the owner like, mate, I don't think you should do this. So like, they've given me a great contract for next year for this reason.
I was going to say, your stock will have risen after this tournament.
That's what they said. They said, fucking hell, mate, like, after what you did for us, you saved the main event. That was the main event, do you know what I mean? And like, you know, we knew what you were going in there with and how hard it was going to be, but you know, they've kind of recognised it now and given me a top contract for next season, which I'm looking forward to going back. And I seen an interview that Chris Wade did, and I swear to God, it resonated with me. He said he got to the final, and this is his 3rd season in PFL now, and he's reached the semis twice, and this is his first final. And he said, I know what it feels like to be at this stage now. Everybody's mentally and physically drained. He said, you're not used to this. Fighting in tournaments is well different, bro, than what anyone else is used to. And I know all them are going to be feeling. And I watched the interviews about 2 weeks before the fight. I thought, wow, he knows exactly how I'm feeling. And it does. And I know how to approach it next year now. Like, I didn't know what the fuck. I started camp for the first fight 6 months before it. By the time the fight come, I'm like, wow. And then I'm back in the gym again the next morning. Then I'm back in again. And there's just no time to rest, recover. Whereas now I know how to approach it. I'm going to fly home, have a week off. I don't care if it's 6 weeks to the next one. A week off, mate, where I'm just resting. Bang again, straight at 5 weeks peak. I know what to do now, and it was a good learning experience.
And there's probably never going to be another situation like we've had last year with, like, you know, not being able to go into a country or whatever at all. So you probably won't have to worry about that ever again.
And not only that, bro, we had to be at the venue 17 days before, and we were locked in a hotel for 17 days.
Yeah, because I seen you put in finally free.
17
Yeah,
days, bro. Imagine that.
Mental, that.
You turn up to the fight, you see your guy every day for 17 days walking around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, you're eating food with him, you're there, you see him, you see his coach and his team and all that, and then you're not allowed out this hotel, you're not allowed fresh air, you're just in this hotel room.
Do you think that was playing on your mind a lot?
Nah, I don't mind all that.
No.
I really don't mind that.
Right.
Other guys were breaking on it. Pure
Yeah.
fighters broke, like Lance Palmer, lost both his fights this year, and he was the champion. He
Right.
just said, I couldn't handle that fucking quarantine.
Yeah.
Like, imagine not having your home comforts before a
Yeah.
fight. You've had everything took away. You might do cryo, you might like your massages, yoga, gone. You just get a bag and a little matted area for 17 days, and it's not normal.
Yeah, that's
No
crazy.
training partners.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, you have to adapt. And I felt like I did adapt until it was time, you know, and at the end, I just had enough.
Yeah.
At the end, I was like, get me home to Manchester, mate, because this is all madness out here. It's like, didn't even have my mates at the fight like you normally have. You know what it's like. And you have a
definitely.
buzz with them after, then they'll ring you, oh, yeah, lad, you coming out? And it's just like, totally different experience, but one that I grew massively from.
Definitely.
One of the last things I wanted to ask you about, I know you've trained in Thailand in the past, and obviously we do Muay Thai for the most part, and I'd like to know like what it was like training with Fabio Pinco while he was out there and stuff.
Yeah, we was just talking about that. Mate. What a guy, mate. Me and him become very, very good, mate. We trained every single day. Like even I didn't even tell him, but when Tiger Muay Thai shut down, he went into lockdown Thailand. He just used to come to my gaff, mate.
Really?
He used to come round in the morning. Me and him would just train, and then we'd have a pad guy. He'd pad us, and then we'd have parties. Like, yeah, do you fancy going out this weekend? Me and him would just get about, and then we'd be picking.
Jealous.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like,
Every
that's
day.
how I felt
Yeah.
because I'm not even a Muay Thai. I don't watch it.
Yeah.
But him, I have because
Yeah.
when I went to watch Yokow,
Yeah.
and he fought Liam,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, who is this guy, mate?
Yeah.
And I
He's
watched his
slick,
fight
innit?
then, and then I researched his whole fucking everything. I got obsessed with the guy
Yeah.
because of how well he dealt with Liam and how cool and calm he was, doing his hair in between. And I was like,
He's slick,
you
innit?
are slick.
Yeah.
And then, we ended up being top mates. And then I was telling him, like, going out on the piss with him. And then just like, what was it like to fight Sanchez and all that? And then he was just, bro, the most humble, cool guy. Just played it down.
Yeah.
Everything got played down.
He almost looks too good to be a fighter, doesn't he, sometimes?
Bro,
Too,
you think,
yeah.
what? Everything got played down. I'd feel a bit starstruck
Yeah,
around him.
yeah.
Like, sometimes, like, what was it like with some of them names that he'd fought?
Yeah.
And then he was just like, it's okay. Yeah, sweet. And then just smile and I'd be like, wow, you're an animal, mate. Yeah, it was
What
good.
was it like, what's he called? The lad who was in UFC as well, the big lad in America, Phil.
Davis.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
legend.
he's
a legend, him, bro. You'll tell you a story about Phil Davis. Yeah, Phil Davis. I remember it was at Alliance Christmas Do. Yeah, I was fighting on New Year's Eve, and like, so it's the 25th, so it's close, and everyone went out on a piss hard, mate.
Yeah.
And I had sprints at 7 a.m. on the track. Yeah, and he went, yeah, I'll come, and I went, yeah, whatever, bro. It's like 1 a.m, pissed up. Next morning, I'm there on my own. The guy walks on. He's like, look, I'm not gonna do the sprints, yeah, but I told you I was coming, so I'm here to support you. And I never forgot that.
Yeah.
Because I thought, he had no fights, nothing coming up, but put his name to something and stuck by it. And after the whole contender thing, sent me that. I'll show you after the maddest message you've ever seen, mate. Like that. I had a lot of messages after, but that one resonated with me heavy, mate. The message he sent me out of the blue.
Right.
And Phil Davis got pure love and respect for him.
Yeah.
He's fighting Joe Romero this weekend. Fucking hell, mate. Dark fight, that, mate.
Yeah.
Well, that's a heavy fight, that.
How old is he now? He's got to be getting on.
Romero,
yeah.
got to be in his 40s.
45 or something.
That's what I mean. You're still young in this game.
I know.
Very young. I know you're saying 30s, but...
I'm not looking to do it in the 40s.
Do I foot, mate? Do I foot, mate? No, wait. It's hard on the body, mate, and the mind. Don't forget, bro, them last 2 fights, Tyler Diamond took licks, I took licks, and then against his Movlead, he pinned me down and hit me with some heavy ground and pound, mate. Like, there's only so many shots you can actually take, you know what I mean, before it's detrimental. Yeah. And I feel like I'm glad I've got a bit of a rest now. My brain's got a rest.
Yeah. Do you think had you won the tournament, how long would you have fought? Do you reckon you would have maybe fought, have a couple more, then call it a day? Or
who knows, bro?
You don't know.
Who knows? I set out to be
you
a
see a lot
champion.
of fighters get to the top, don't you? And then they just kind of that goes.
That's why it could be a blessing because I didn't get what I wanted.
Be. And I just think
still there.
Yeah.
Whereas if I would have got it, I feel like the journey would have been over.
Yeah.
But because it's still there and I've not done it, what I set out to do, I feel like I've still got loads of good years left in me, and I feel like again, going back to what Chris Wade said, it's his 3rd season now, and now he's in the final.
Yeah.
And I feel like
no doubt you'll be
it
there.
takes time to adjust to these settings and formats. And I started off great, knockout with Shaman. Then the Diamond fight, I was flying. And if I would have just kept that same pace and kept that same energy for the next 2, I would have won it hands down easy. But and again, the draws that I got were easier because Shaman was he's won 2 fights since I beat him. Since I stopped him, mate, he's had 2 fights and stopped both guys since me. And like, that just shows what a warrior he is, bro. To get knocked out like that, fight again 6 weeks later, win, and then again 6 weeks after that and win again and stop both guys. You're talking about different levels of humans that they've got in this tournament, mate. Seriously.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
I'm just looking forward to seeing him back in.
Yeah,
like I said, I think it's sad when you look at some of the guys in UFC who again reach the top, and then you just see him on a mad decline. You know, some of the top fighters we're talking about. I think with you just every fight I'll watch and I think, his low kicks, his stand up, the turning back kicks, his footwork, everything's improving. Whereas you do get some fighters who sit at that one level and you think he'll get found out eventually. You know, I think with you, man, I think definitely.
I just feel like if I would have had my proper camp and my coach and my support mechanism that I've had for my whole career here, that'd have been a whole different fight. And I just think now I have got my coach back. I have got my mum. I'm back at my mum. I've got my bird. I've got everyone that I need now to go back there with the full spirit, the warrior spirit that I needed.
Definitely.
And I feel like now I've got what I needed, and it's only been 2 weeks I've been home, but I feel like I've got exactly what I needed now and I'm ready to go again. Right, so let's hope someone gets injured, mate, and I'll be the first one on the flight.
I'll be wicked,
well. You know what I mean? Who knows?
I know,
listen, mate, stranger things have happened. It's MMA.
For real.
Shit happens. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you very much for coming on. We really appreciate you talking to us and that. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you to the Armour Store for hosting us, and we'll see you again soon.